All right, guys. So real quick, I'm just gonna get right to it. Not even gonna waste anybody's time on this one. I did the bumper vents and the glue, it comes with VHB on the back of it, but it's not very good. It doesn't stick very well. And so one of the things you have to do is, what I highly recommend is strip the wax from your paint first. You can use, you're not supposed to really, but just one time is fine. You could use dish soap, like the really strong stuff, the DAWN. Yeah, use that. It'll strip the wax off of here. Make sure you rinse it thoroughly and wipe it down with some rubbing alcohol. And then when you go to cut your holes, be super careful. Use your template. But as you can see, watch, it's gonna pop off when I'm messing with it. Yeah, no, this is on there, and it's on good. So what I did was I ended up going on Amazon and I bought some automotive molding tape. 3M makes it. I'm sure it's comparable to VHB because it popped up when I searched for VHB, but since it said it was for car moldings and car parts and stuff, I went with that. Not that VHB is bad, but yeah, it's worth it. So what I ended up doing here is, here's the other side. I haven't put it on quite yet. I had to come in here with some, I think it was 180 grit sandpaper, and you'll notice there's a bunch of overspray all over the backside of these things. And what I did was, right where the tape is laid down, I folded the sandpaper over so it kind of looked like that, like my knuckle, instead of being flat. It was like a ridge. And I went with the sandpaper and just real lightly scuffed all the overspray off. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect because it will never be, but you need to just try to get a little bit of that overspray off, then wipe it with some rubbing alcohol. Maybe even use a clay bar on there, see if you can get any off. You don't want to necessarily hurt this edge here, this lip, this raised edge, because you'll notice the way the tape lays, it's barely, it's like 1/32 of an inch with my laser eyeball measurement past that. Anyway, don't just lay the tape down, all right? You need something else as well, all right? So I also went on Amazon and got this stuff. Now, do you have to get the 111? Not necessarily. I know they make one called 94, but you have to use this in a well-ventilated area. Just be super careful. I didn't have any issues with it, but your results may vary. And what this is, essentially, think of it as primer for paint. So when you paint something, you spray down primer and then you spray the paint, so that way the paint sticks better with the primer. That's exactly what this stuff is for VHB or any other double-sided tape. And this is a larger one, 8.4 ounces. This is the only one that they really had on Amazon, but I can tell you this stuff works really well. And in fact, that's what I used on this to get this to stick. And if you want, when you go to, you've cut your holes and everything, you'll have these nice little test panels. You see some of the VHB or the automotive molding tape still stuck to that. I could not get it off. I can actually show you how good this stuff is stuck on there. So once it's on there, it's on there. Like, you really need to be careful about your placement. So what I went ahead and did was, before I hit this with primer, because you will hit the bumper with the primer as well, and try to get it only where the tape's gonna lay, because it doesn't necessarily change the color of your paint or the tone of it. You might not even be able to notice, but it's essentially perfectly clear. It's not a big deal at all, but just try to not be so sloppy with it, that's all. And what I did was, before I peeled the backing, because I put the tape on the vent first and I left the backing on the other side. So what you do is you line it up with one hand, and with the other hand you're going to take a dry erase marker and you're going to trace around the edge, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, right? You get the idea. And that's going to be your guide for when you carefully place it. And now when you place these, you want to have them at an angle. You don't want to go flat. You want to angle it in, not this aggressively, but I'm just showing you. Probably about this much. And you want to just put one little corner at a time, line it up with the lines that you drew. One edge at a time, put them down. And I peeled all the tape before I went to line it up. And also, to note, after you've drilled or dremeled out your holes, use some black spray paint back here, because I could not get those mesh things to stay. I'm sure I could have got on the stay with the provided metal hook clip things if I used the primer and then the tape, but I just didn't feel like messing with it. I just left them open. Where was I? Anyway, you get the idea. It's pretty simple. Just draw your lines where it's gonna go, put down your primer on the bumper, right? So you're gonna prime the vent, you're gonna place the tape on the vent, leave the backing on, then you're gonna put this in place, draw your lines, remove this again, prime the bumper, right? Peel all your tape and slowly line it up and press firmly. And you don't want to squeeze these, pull them in. You don't want to push here, push and hold, push and hold, push and excuse the grimy fingers. Yeah, push and hold, push and hold. And then you're gonna get this, and it's actually gonna be stuck to the bumper instead of doing it like a knucklehead. So this was supposed to be a quick video, turned into 7 minutes, but hopefully it helps somebody out there. And build update may be coming soon. We'll see. Peace.